That's good.
You really didn't skip any.
No, I don't.
No. Don't make me read.
I was reading fast, so there's a possibility I skipped words. We should do over under.
Yeah.
Still a minute.
You gotta be close enough.
No, it's gotta be 7 o'clock according to Apple time.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
It's a, okay. Good
Better pick up the
evening.
scrap, right?
We'll call our meeting to order. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, seconded by Councillor Clark, that this meeting be opened at 7 PM. All in favor? Carried. I think that goes underneath. And then we have the adoption of previous minutes. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held October 10th, 2023 be adopted as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Any presentations and delegations?
None for this evening.
And then we'll go down to minutes and reports from municipal committees and board. Planning advisory.
So we had a meeting last night. Yeah, last night was, geez, my days fly by. So it was last night. We had 3 applications in front of us that the committee has recommended to move forward to council, which we will see on the next council agenda in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Fire department.
We had a meeting last night as well. Main thing is that they had an open house for Fire Prevention Week, and it was fairly successful. And Halloween night, October 31st, they're running a haunted firehouse free for the public from 6 PM to 9 PM.
Okay, thank you. And recreation.
So our last meeting was October 16th. Our main things coming up is a Halloween parade, which is October 28th, the Saturday evening. That's run by Renee Content. She's still looking for people to join with floats and looking for candy donations and just overall kind of support for the event, knowing that a lot of different members from the community and even other communities are going to come out and enjoy it. Our next big event coming up is November 25th. That's our soup and chili cook-off, our contest, and we're doing a bake sale or a baking trade thing. So all of our information for that is coming out soon. There's a parade involved in that as well, and we're having a fill the cruiser for a police cruiser that for that day as well to raise money for or raise stuff for the food bank, so people can donate food items. We also had our trade show on October 14th. It was our first business trade show. We had 19 booths, fairly successful, something that we can build on for future years.
Okay, thank you. I did go to the trade show and I thought it was very well organized and very interesting to see all the different booths that were in there. And it was very, very good. Library.
We're meeting this coming Monday, but I hope everyone got the notice of change of slightly changed hours. But the library has a lot of really good things planned coming up as well. So they have an estate planning session coming up. There's always tech support sessions for people who want to come and do tech support. And so there's a lot of really good programming still going on.
Perfect.
State planning is important.
No, I was thinking
I was
the,
the
tech
tech programming.
programming.
Oh, yeah.
I turned to Dan and I
Oh.
smiled. Yeah.
General government. Police services tomorrow at 4 o'clock,
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Oh, that gives me more time. Don't have to speed.
Nope.
Do police services.
To Public Works.
We're having a meeting on November the 1st.
Sure.
Third,
First,
that's next week.
Yeah.
Yes, next Wednesday evening.
but I also wanted to touch on that Public Works Manager car, both Development and Pine Lake are completed now. They look good, so good job.
Very
Thank you.
good.
And we got the bonus South Shore.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes. Thanks for
So no,
that.
yeah, they
It's a
both
busy
turned out
month.
well.
Yes.
Very good. Good news.
Mhm.
Yes, very good
Very
news.
Mhm.
The winter sand's ready, the trucks are ready.
No, no snow.
Yeah, so we're ready.
Good.
Yes.
I am wondering if it's okay, this is not on our agenda, but I'm wondering if I could bring this forward. This week, well, on Sunday, I was at my daughter's and my grandson he saves all these pictures. And in there was a picture of myself and Councillor Ivan Foisey, who passed away some time ago. And in that picture was the land transfer that was giving the land back to the township. And the picture was there. And at this time, I'm wondering if there's something that we can do. We have our park is back in the township of Bonfield, and it was in the Conservation Authority. And I'm wondering if maybe possibly by July 1st, we might be able to put something together to honor Councillor Ivan Foisey. Is that something that we could look at as well? The cenotaph, he was he worked very hard to do that as well. And I would like us to, over the next months, think about something that we could do.
I will write it down, and CAO Kunkel and myself, and maybe Recreation can prepare something for Canada Day.
Very good.
Excuse me, Madam Mayor. I know in the past, just with one of our senior staff, that there is a rock that's placed near the cenotaph. It's my understanding that was supposed to be designated.
To our veterans,
Oh,
yes.
I thought it was something else.
I think
And I thought with her history, she would know the answer.
it was my son that donated the rock, but
Okay.
it was to the veterans, yeah.
Okay.
Tom Rowe was always going to put a little sign on there, but I think he was too busy. But I just, seeing that picture brought it back that, the property wasn't ours at the time, and Ivan was out there, we're going to get this back, and here the picture's in the nugget, and it's got the land transfer showing that the Conservation Authority was transferred the land back to.
It would
the
be nice if
township.
we could get a copy of that so we could have it for our own records.
I have the picture, stole it out of my grandson's pictures, but it really brought back some memories of people that has put a lot into our community as well.
Yes.
And he worked with the children's programs. He
Mhm.
used to bring movies to the community center and
Very
the games, and he was very
instrumental
much
in recreation.
like our Counselor Steve.
Yes.
So, okay, I just thought I would bring it up if that's something we could do, so I don't forget about it. So then our motions. I guess I don't.
None from committees, no.
No, okay, so. Then reports. Nothing from Phenom. Councillor Featherstone, North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority.
So we have a meeting tomorrow at 4:30.
Okay. Councillor Clark, the next one is Bonfield Nonprofit Seniors Housing.
We have not had a meeting. I will touch base with the committee and see, we kind of went, hard with the opening. And so I'll touch base with Lisa to see what comes next.
Okay, I went to a dinner on Saturday night for the veterans, and people came up to me and the comments were on Bonfield Seniors Housing, how nice it was and how good it was for Bonfield. So I have to pass that along as well. Next, we have notice of motion,
None for this meeting,
introduction and consideration of bylaw,
none for this meeting.
disbursements. Moved by Councillor McGuinness, second by Councillor Corbett. The council approved the general accounts for the township of Bonfield as indicated in the disbursement report dated October 24th, 2023, in the amount of $272,951.63 as per the annual budget and or as approved by council resolution. All in favor? Carried. Next, we're to correspondence and information. Number one was City of Burlington looking for a motion of support provincial legislation for third-party short-term rental companies. What do we think of that?
It's only for companies like Airbnb and Verbal.
Mhm.
It's not for individuals that are
No.
renting out. So there's still a layer that the municipality would have to legislate,
Right.
right? Or have a bylaw for. I'm not sure if it's redundant or,
Anyone else?
I mean, I think if the province is going to regulate, they should regulate the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yes.
Or,
That's
this
right.
seems a little piecemeal to me.
Okay, we'll just let that one go. Okay, the next one is the Recreation Committee. Appointment of members.
Mhm.
Oh. We're not moving this one? We received 4 applications for recreation. And so it's moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, whereas the terms of reference for the Recreation and Fitness Committee states that the committee can be comprised of 5 or 7 members, and whereas the committee currently has 4 members, and whereas 4 applications were received from interested individuals to sit on the committee, now therefore council appoints, and I can fill the names in. I'm wondering if, being we have 4 people have applied for it, could we appoint 4 people and change our terms of reference to 8 members? That way we won't leave anyone out.
So yes, you can change your terms of reference. It would just be a resolution or it's by bylaw. So we would amend a bylaw that has the terms and conditions for the Recreation Committee, and then you can put 4
Okay, so,
up to 8 members on that. So then you could accept all 4.
okay, so should I I'll put the names here and then subject to changing our terms of reference.
Yes, the resolution should have wording and further that the terms of reference be updated at the next council meeting to permit.
Okay,
Should we be optimistic and put 10?
Well, so we're not changing it all the
Yeah,
time. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously it
that's I
seems.
say, I think that,
People are inspired to get
yes,
involved
and
now.
this is
Don't wanna turn
awesome.
that
So
down.
we don't want to limit, if they think that we're full, it's like, nope, we got more. So,
You can put what you want. I think you have to remember that it has to be manageable to get
Yes.
consensus, to
Yeah.
get quorum to a table. Because the more that's there, then that's more that you need on the quorum
Right.
side as well. And then how you get votes for majority when you have too many people, that can also be a great thing, but our community is very involved, and I think that's fantastic.
and how would subcommittees work? Because I think that there's a real there's an opportunity here, because there are days like July 1st, which you're swamped, right? There's so many things to do. So if we had actually a committee, and then we're not spreading everyone too thinly, people sort of, again, the Halloween parade is a huge undertaking. And so if there's led by one of these awesome people, then so is that, they don't necessarily have to be on the committee, or do they, or?
No, you can have subcommittees of the recreation committee, put that in the terms of reference as well, that you want subcommittees, and then people can be appointed to subcommittees, which would just be by event. So then you would have to come up with a definition of when you would have a subcommittee
Okay,
for any community event, for a day-long event, or something to that matter.
Right.
Yeah, but, and then they don't have to be on the main recreation
Right.
committee.
right.
And it gives more opportunity for our community to become involved as well.
It does, and then it doesn't commit people who are also very busy that want to come and help and focus on one event too,
Right.
and that really helps us, so.
so should I put 8?
Would an odd number not be better for quorum?
Should put
And I
nine.
think that's why it was at 7, and perhaps you want to put like a minimum, if we're gonna have. well, I don't know.
Minimum of 8,
Well, you gotta,
maximum.
The
No.
minimum also, actually, I'm saying that just to help the conversation, but a minimum also means then what happens if only 3 people ever put their name forward? I don't see that happening here.
so why don't we stick the way it was, like, or a minimum of 5, maximum of either 9 or 11.
So what would be quorum then
If you have 9, it would be 5.
at 5?
Yeah,
Okay,
like our planning advisory committee has 5 members and we just made quorum.
okay.
last.
So we're saying 8 members?
Well, it'd
or
have to be
9?
odd, 9 or 11,
Okay.
9.
I'm going 9 then. Okay, I'll start over. Moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor Featherstone, whereas the terms of reference for the Recreation and Fitness Committee states that the committee can be comprised of 5 or 7 members, and whereas the committee currently has 4 members, and whereas 4 applications were received from interested individuals to sit on the committee, therefore council appoints Lise Houle, Sylvie Lamott, Cassandra Pug, and Renee Content, subject to amending our terms of reference to 9 members. All in favor?
Sorry, should we put the minimum? So we had 5 to 7, should we go
5 to 9.
5 to 9 members?
To reference to
Yeah.
5
to
to
9.
9 members.
Yeah. I think
Take that
makes
out
sense.
there. Okay. All in favor? Carried.
Oh, little quick.
Did you want to put anything about subcommittees?
Oh,
Do we have to?
If we're changing the terms of reference, we can now, but terms of reference are going to come back to council for all the committees in the
Right.
next few months anyway, so we could do it at that time.
Okay, then we're changing it next.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's the bylaw and then the terms of reference, right? Terms of reference isn't in the bylaw.
Yeah, you have to go back and look at how it's set up.
Okay. Next, we have motion of support for the township of McCullough. And This is to do with the publication of newspapers.
Mhm.
Moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor McGuinness, that the Township of Bonfield supports the Township of McCullers resolution passed at their October 17, 2023 council meeting, calling for an amendment to the Legislation Act 2006 to include digital publications as an acceptable means of publication and notice requirements for provincial acts and regulations. And that a copy of this resolution be sent to the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Paul Calandra, Vic Fideli, Nipissing MPP, and the Association of Ontario Municipalities, AMO. All in favor? Carry. The next one is for our retreat on, I think we talked about the 18th, but I think some members can't make it till the 19th. Does anybody have any problem doing it the 19th?
This is November?
Yes. That's a Sunday.
I work, but I'm sure I could book it off.
Would you like us to change it somewhere else or just see if you can book it off?
Well, I think I can make it work if that works for everybody else.
Okay, if not, then let us know and then we'll try and amend it again so we can accommodate everybody. Okay,
Do we know a timeline?
we figured maybe say 9 o'clock, 9:30 or so, and then till 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We
I
should
think
be
9 to
able to
3.
cover what we would
I
like
think
to.
9 to 3,
Hmm?
9 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
9 to 3?
Yes.
That's when you'd like to do it?
Good for her.
I
think
think that's
that's-
the minimum requirement time that we need to get everything
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
I'd
So
also like council to think about a Sunday in December that we could have a follow-up session just for strategic planning.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open, whatever works.
Yeah, I just don't want to keep everybody from their family to all day.
Well, but it's a big topic, so.
Yeah.
We're gonna need that time frame, I think.
Okay, long as everybody can make it. Nobody can leave early.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
That's when all the good decisions get made.
Yep.
Moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor Featherstone. Whereas the mayor is desirous of having a special council retreat meeting to discuss strategic planning, including timelines and methods and policy direction for decision at a future council meeting. And whereas such special meeting is permitted and must be located within the municipal boundaries. Now therefore, Council for the Township of Bonfield hereby provides notice that a special council meeting will be held on November 19th, 2023 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the municipal office. All in favor? Carry.
Thank you. It's interesting to call it a retreat when we're
I
just
know.
having for
Yeah.
at the office.
Yeah, I was thinking of something grand.
Like a log cabin.
Yeah, right, you know.
The retreat allows us to have much more informal conversation as opposed to.
Donna, you gonna make muffins?
I'm gonna make all meals.
Hey,
Yes.
right on.
You're paying though.
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one, motion to appoint nominees for the DSAB Housing Need and Supply Study Focus Group for Bonfield. Okay, moved by Councillor McGuinness, second by Councillor Featherstone. Whereas the District of Nipissing Social Services Administration Board is undertaking a housing need and supply study for all member municipalities. Whereas the district is seeking each council to appoint representatives from each community for a focus group session. Now therefore, council nominates the following individuals to represent the township of Bonfield.
I nominate Jason.
I was going to nominate him too. I
Okay.
second.
Thank you very much, everybody. Jeez. What an honor.
Do we just need the one?
No,
There's 4.
up to 10.
Well, we-
Oh,
we're a little
There's not 10 of us
short.
in the room.
They can be members of the public as well,
Oh,
perhaps
okay.
the seniors.
Okay,
If there's a champion member on that committee who may also participate or want to, we could certainly ask.
okay,
You can just nominate them and then the housing, Nipissing District Social Services Administration Board, their steering committee on the housing supply study will get as many people as they can for the Bonfield
Okay.
session.
So there are some great people in the municipality that could potentially be a great voice on this, but
Mhm.
short of asking them before we nominate them,
yeah,
Dr. Preston comes to mind.
yeah.
Why,
So
why
you-
don't we just, do we have to do this tonight or defer it and see if these people are interested, like reach out?
I have to submit names by Friday.
Yeah.
So perhaps you could email me names or let me know who they are at the end of the meeting. And then we can reach out to them and see if they would be willing, and I can submit those names by the 27th.
Well, could we put their name in that we're nominating them? Because that's what we're doing, nominating, right?
Right. And
And-
they absolutely have the option of saying no.
And would be subject to their acceptance. Could we do that?
Mhm.
Mhm.
If they, we need 4, right?
Well, you can have, I put 4 on the motion just to say that it is more than one. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a resolution of council to nominate them. For any internal, you should do it by resolution, but for any external, we can do it by just phone call it, and we can just add their name as long as council, there's consensus.
So I think Jan and Dean would be good. Like, this is a focus group for, and I think we should pull from all sectors. And I'll try to get as good of a cross section as we can of people that have varying housing needs and housing viewpoints to be on this focus group. So I think Dr. Preston is good. I think,
Yeah, my in-laws.
yeah, Jan and Dean would be good. Someone from the housing, the seniors housing would be good. Jason would be good.
Do you think, I'm going to put Dr. Preston then?
Sure.
And who did you say?
Jan and Dean, Jan and Dean Griffith
Jan
and Dean,
and Dean?
yeah.
The 2 of them?
Or put, yeah, I don't know, put Dean. That's Donna's nomination.
Yeah, I think that they would have some good insight about
Yeah.
housing.
And
Are you
what's the
interested?
last name?
Really?
Yeah,
Ton of-
yeah.
Well, Donna would be
I mean, I've worked for housing, municipal housing.
And Donna
eons
Clark.
ago.
Yeah.
He retired.
Donna, you want to?
Sure, yeah,
Are you in touch now?
no, I live in a house.
I'm wondering if Darlene
Folks,
would be interested.
yeah.
Put her name
Yeah.
Put her
down, yeah.
name down.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can-
Maybe any residents who are listening could call the office if they're interested as well. I know that it's been advertised on Facebook. It's,
It would be nice to have a younger person trying, because it's all old and mature.
yeah, actually, Sarah Blythe, who, yes, so Sarah, SARAH, BLYTHE. I think she would, she's a young professional in our community.
I said, how about somebody poor and young
Yeah.
with kids? that are
Do you have any
struggling to
ideas,
keep
Steve?
Well, who are the names? Give us some names.
Now that you called them.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. No, don't give us names yet.
Maybe we'll do that one off camera.
Confidentially,
Well,
every-
most of us are in that position, really. It doesn't mean you're poor, but I mean.
No.
like,
No, Do you no, need which staff
strong
listed on this?
kids.
Or is this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you need staff listed on this?
So Anne,
What?
Steve,
Yeah.
I'm waiting on Steve to give me a name if you guys give him a chance.
I think it does kind of put people in an awkward position to put their names in without talking to them. I don't know, it almost feels like you're kind of bullying them to be involved, right?
I think we're just asking them, though. This is just an ask. They can say no, and we're valuing their opinion. We're honoring them by valuing their opinion. It's no pressure. If
No-
they don't have the time or they can't do it.
No one's
then-
gonna be any the wiser if they're there, if
No.
they accept or not.
Yeah.
Right.
We're looking
Yeah,
for
Zoom report.
representation for Bonfield too.
We would put on the resolution, Steve, subject to acceptance by the appointees,
Right.
right?
Is there
Nobody?
anyone from the recreation committee who just put their name forward who may be a great candidate?
Hmm.
Who's young? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Well, Renee would be the youngest one.
Yeah.
So would she be?
Building a home.
Yes.
Hmm.
She's great.
Did he give me a name?
Renee Conto,
Content.
Conti.
That's for clarification.
Dump landfill.
I know. That's what came to mind.
Okay, that's it then. Now therefore, council nominates the following individuals to represent the township of Bonneville: Jason Corbett, Dr. Preston, Dean Griffith, Donna Clark, Darlene Hott, Sarah Blythe, Renee Contan, subject to approval of the nominees.
We forgot to include staff. I think Anne was nominated.
Yes.
Pardon?
I think Anne was nominated as well.
Oh,
Thank you.
What about Kim?
Well, you know, you want to be nominated?
What about Kim Turnbull?
You can put her name, she can choose to say yes or no. Just, I know it's coming up and she has a busy schedule. It's the only reason I'm hesitating, but she is, she'd be a wealth of information on there as well.
We'll put her
Yes.
name if she doesn't have the, if she can't, she can't.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Good job.
all
Is
in favor? Carried.
it an in-person focus group?
I think it's a Zoom, wasn't
It
it?
will probably move by soon.
Okay.
Yeah, see, we're all about making life easy.
I think that's really good because that study does depend on the engagement that the community brings forward. So thank you for doing that.
Okay, then we're just information. Letter to Emo read challenges faced by smaller developers in the Ontario communities. I don't think we had motions for that.
No, these were
No.
just a letter to bring to your attention.
Okay. And municipality of Blue Water, where their childcare availability in Ontario. I think they had some good points there for sure. Is that something we would support the next council meeting?
I will make sure that to be on the lookout for future motions of support that come out with this.
Okay,
So I think that with the $10 a day daycare, I think it's kind of a misnomer because people think it's cheap daycare and that people are just babysitting, where like you have to have your ECE to work in a childcare center. It's not just about looking after the kids. There's programming involved. There's development that they do, and I think that a couple of things. I think that it could be discouraging people from actually going into the profession as well. So colleges might be seeing a decline in people enrolling for ECE because just the notion that it's cheap daycare, right? It's $10 a day daycare. So I think that we should support this motion. I think it is important. These, especially the newborn to pre-K, that those development years are so important. And these are highly trained individuals that should be properly paid, and their job should be highlighted.
So I agree with you, but it's actually not a motion, it's a letter.
A letter of support, yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
you're
it's,
gonna look for
it's a
motion.
letter from municipality of Blue Water and under the mayor's signature. So, I mean, we could write a letter of support and send it to Premier Doug Ford and MPP Fidelli, just referencing the letter itself, right?
But why would,
I know.
no, I was,
Yeah.
why would they go through the headaches of writing this and then not having a letter of support or a
Or
resolution?
motion, yeah.
But there's nothing that prevents council from making a motion
Yeah, we can make
of
our motion.
resolution of support.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that'll come forward in the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Next. Cigarette producer responsibility for the butt, right? Is that another motion? Or just information?
Well, there's the motion.
They were looking for a motion of support. If council wants to support this, I will bring it back to the next meeting.
I think we should,
Oh, yes, yes.
and then the
absolutely.
next one is notice of cannabis nursery licenses. Do we have to give support for that?
No, it's information purposes only.
Okay. And then next we have the 2023 budget to actual report.
Mhm.
Any comment?
This is a very good report.
Okay, next we have,
But sorry, I think is it possible to get a summary at the end though? So I was trying to look at sort of revenue to actuals so that we had like an actual number at the bottom, but I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, this is just one report that we get from Baker. So we're still in the process of putting Baker into Excel so that we can
Yeah, manipulate the data.
Present.
Yeah,
in a better format.
yeah,
It'll take a few.
yeah.
A few weeks.
I don't know.
Yes.
Your revenues are listed at the front,
I
though, if
know,
that helps.
I
but
know,
yeah.
and that, I know, but I was just trying
Looking
to,
for
like,
that
the
summary.
bottom line should be you should actually do the calculation,
Yeah.
but it doesn't, so that's okay.
Sometimes I understand it's frustrating because, sometimes you look at something and like, yeah, we did pay that, but we also brought the money in to pay it, but it doesn't go in the same line.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I get it's confusing.
Yeah.
It's just painting the right picture, right? So that it's in digestible bites and people understand, so. But no, I think it's a great report. It's information for us, so thank you.
next we have any new business?
None for this meeting.
Sorry, I do.
Sorry.
If I may, council, under the recreation committee minutes, there was a discussion at the recreation committee about the New Year's Eve dance. I just wondered, there was no reference to it tonight at the meeting or no resolution, but the committee is talking about doing a New Year's dance. And there is, we're working on creating posters and getting that out so it can get out to the public, but there's no resolution from council to say that you want to move forward or who is willing to put their name on a liquor license so that we can move forward on organizing that event. So just wondered if there's any feedback.
In the recreation.
Ross, there it is.
I know, looking at you.
I'm in. Donna's in. Me and Donna.
I think it's Steve and Jason who are traditionally but Dan and I will support, and I know that you were there last year. Are you? So there's security
External.
Yeah, external security. So what we learned from last event
Mhm.
was that we needed a little bit more aggressive patrolling and security. And the smart serves behind the bar will be, and I think we're hiring them. So, and they, may or may not be from our community. So it's not people that they possibly know. So it'll be a little more strict and controlled. Those were my
Good.
conditions.
Well, yeah, that's
Those
good.
were my conditions. And I mean, we will have a good time, but we will also ensure that everyone is safe.
Very good.
Yes.
So who's putting their name on the liquor license?
Steve,
Steve.
you just need one name?
There should be two.
And Jason.
Sure.
And Bill and Donna.
It does take it'll take a process. It takes a month. They want them in 30 days in advance. We'll need to start preparing, creating that into the budget. So I just wanted to make sure that we're all on board for moving that forward and who was taking on that responsibility.
So I'm,
Excellent.
that is excellent. I'm slightly confused though, because is this a municipal event? Or is this a privately run event by a small committee by Steve and Donna and Jason and Dan and Mary? Because there's a different, like, interesting, you're gonna put two counselors' names on a municipal event for a liquor license, unless it's not a municipal event. And then we're running an event, which is citizen Jason, citizen Steve.
And it can be either way.
Right.
If it is citizen Steve and citizen Jason, then the municipal office, we really have no planning
Correct.
to do. There's nothing for us to
What
do.
did we do last
If
year?
it's Councillor Featherstone and Councillor Corbett, then it is involved in, and I believe the last one was run through the municipality.
Yeah, and it was declared a municipally significant event.
Yes, so then.
And is that the course that we are looking
It's
to
your
go down
decision.
as a council?
There is a municipal alcohol policy, so that would have to be followed, even though it's in the parish hall. Anything that's in, for the number of security people, this,
Yep.
as Councillor Clark was describing the number of security, the tickets you buy, all of that would have to be followed if it's a municipally run event. If the example has to be set, we have to follow our own policies if it's through the municipality. Otherwise, as citizen Steve and citizen Jason, you can follow the parish hall.
And
Which I
provincial-
believe is
And
very-
provincial legislation.
Yes, yes.
So is that a municipal event or a private event?
I think with following the guidelines and proper oversight, I don't have a problem with it being a municipal event. What the thing that we did well last time was providing rides, right? So we did that bus.
We hired the school bus system
Yes,
to do that.
yes. So things like that are in place. And again, if there's the patrol inside and outside, I'm very comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with Smart Serve and posting their whatever the rules say that they have to do, and ensuring that we're counting the tickets and just and I think if it is a municipal event, all of these things have to be in place.
Exactly. You're good with that,
Sure.
Yep.
All right.
Dan?
Yep.
Steve?
Yep.
Okay,
Just so I can add all of this information or motions are coming out of the next recreation committee meeting, which would then go to council for November 14th.
okay.
So we'll have all that ready for the next meeting.
Am I missing anything or was there anything missed?
And if we, the next item on the agenda is actually the municipal alcohol policy. If we were to send it back to committee, if that's the decision of council for rework, if that happens at the next committee meeting, would this be coming forward at the same meeting and be implemented in time for the New Year's party?
Yes, it could, but the current one would still be in effect.
And, yeah,
And it is
That's
similar, so there would be,
right. So depending on where council goes in the next, if we send it back for revisions,
Mhm.
the new one could be in place in time for.
yes.
Okay. So I have one motion or the other. Are we recommending that we send it back to the Recreation and Fitness Committee?
For the alcohol policy?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just,
Okay.
can I speak?
Sure.
Sorry. I mean,
thought we
listen,
were voting.
no, yeah, sorry. Well, and maybe we can just move to a vote, but I feel like I've said my piece on this about following provincial legislation, not needing to actually go in depth to the way we do. I've seen that the public health unit is not going to come to the meeting. I don't understand the rationale other than anyways, I don't understand the rationale as to why more prescriptive than provincial legislation when it's a provincial health unit. So I struggle with that. I would like to see it to go back to committee for a revamp and quite frankly, a lot less restrictive to places that they can't have alcohol, that's i.e. the soccer field. If it follows, it's fenced in, if it's if it's secured properly, follows all the provincial legislation, it meets all of the requirements that the province says would need to happen to keep it safe. So that's, I would like to see it go back to committee with that in mind and have the committee kind of rework that and see what they would send forward the next time.
Nikki?
I can speak fast, but and just in, if you can help me expand on that a little bit. So in the new, if it were revamped, you wouldn't want it to say what is permitted or what municipal facilities would be allowed to have the alcohol?
Right, wherever possible, it should just defer to provincial legislation because it's very prescriptive as to what, in order for somebody to have an outdoor event, it has to be fenced in, it has to meet the regulations,
Right.
which I'm more than comfortable with.
So if the municipality has a rental agreement for any piece of our facilities, so right now we don't have a rental agreement for the soccer field,
Right.
or for the outdoor rink or any of those. The municipal alcohol policy is meant to be, here is your one document, one window document to here's everything that you need to do. And that's why that information is typically in the municipal alcohol policy, because here's the one window and then it says per the province. And if we have those rental agreements and then we're asking for insurance, they also need to know all of that information and it's spelled out so that when they come to rent like we have a wedding that's going to happen on the island this week. So we're like, there's absolutely zero alcohol permitted and there's a bunch of rules that we put in place in order for them to have the wedding there. If they were having alcohol, we would certainly, and our insurance would certainly want to be able to say, here are the rules that you have to follow for alcohol. And if we say it's just up to provincial legislation in the policy and just say as per the province, and they don't go to look for that information and something happens, it's still on our insurance that they didn't follow.
Sure, so I guess we could get to the point of copying and pasting the provincial legislation into our alcohol policy if that's what we feel we need to do. Although if they change the legislation, then we have to change our bylaws as opposed to referring to it. They're also not applying to us for the liquor license. They're applying through the province for a
But they
liquor
need
license.
permission from us.
I
to have
understand
them.
that, but if they're meeting the regulations of the provincial government and all of that, I mean, if that is what would be keeping them safe
Mhm.
from all of the legislation standpoint, so.
so if they, on the island, let's say they put up fencing around would they then qualify for a liquor license on the island?
You could.
Well, we don't-
We want.
Currently, they wouldn't because it says in our alcohol policy that they're not allowed. But even if they had fencing, they're still not allowed.
Not
Right
according
now.
to our bylaw.
Because you've not given them permission. You've
Right.
not said that the islands can be licensed for alcohol.
Right.
Much like the outdoor rink is not allowed to be licensed. So your council is making the decision and setting the policy. So if somebody came to staff and said, I want to rent the outdoor rink, we would say, I'm sorry, it's not available for alcohol. So you can't use that space for alcohol.
rather
And I
than
know that that's the change, but
parameters, rather than
Right.
parameters, right? Like this is what you have to have in order to rent space.
yeah, and you still have to list the space so that there's still a defined area of where that alcohol will be. And especially if it's a community event, so then you are separating where the minors and where those of age would be.
And that's exactly what they have to do to apply for the liquor license as well.
Yes, and they have to list all of that out.
Right.
But
Including the parameters, including, like, all of that is already taken care of in provincial legislation. That's my point. I feel it completely redundant, and we're hamstringing ourselves to, what happens if somebody wants to hold a 500-person event in our soccer field, and all they need to do is put up a piece of fence and follow the provincial legislation? We're just gonna say, sorry, that's a no. It doesn't make sense to me that we would turn down the revenue if they're gonna be complying with all provincial legislation.
I have concerns because the municipal alcohol policy is there and maybe to overprotect the municipality. And that's also protects us. In the event that we rent the any of the municipal facilities and something happens, we would also be named in a lawsuit if there was a lawsuit. And that's what troubles me, is because if we just go by the provincial rules, does it look like we haven't done everything to ensure that the municipality will not be part of a lawsuit? And that's what worries me. When this municipal alcohol policy was developed, all of the municipalities were doing it, and it took many hours and many times thinking, is that redundant? But it was to put something in place that people are not going to get sued. So I would be comfortable for it to go back to the Recreation and Fitness Committee, for them to review and see what they would come back to us. Does the health unit have to approve the policy after it's been accepted by council?
no.
No.
No, the health unit is a guardian. Since municipal alcohol policies became in effect, the health unit has been the guiding principle on how to manage that for all of the municipalities. Insurance should see it, they should go through it, and perhaps one of the ways of meeting the needs and what, having it less pages or less prescriptive is just to say that whoever is applying for alcohol must submit their full application that they submit to the province and that they have to submit that in with their rental agreement, so that you have the design of where the fence is, what their plan is for where the non-alcoholic drinks and the alcoholic drinks are. And
So they have to have insurance too, though, right?
yes,
Yeah.
well, if it's in the municipal alcohol policy, yes, they do. But our insurance company is absolutely 100% going to say that they need to have insurance.
See, and that's the purpose for the municipal alcohol policy, in my opinion. That's what we get to set.
Yeah.
Is we can dictate that we want to be named under insurance to up to we can set the threshold.
Yeah.
And how much coverage do we want, right? So, but to get to the, oh, sorry. Steve.
Councilor Featherstone's been.
There's no extra, sorry guys, there's no extra risk to the municipality between having a liquor license only at the hockey rink or at the soccer field or on an island. They would still have to fence it. They would still have to have security. They would still have to have the same parameters. We're just changing locations. So I don't think this puts us at any more of a risk. I know at a committee level, we were trying to add in the soccer field. We were looking at the island, even with it being close proximity to water. But to Councillor Corbett's point, that they would have to fence it. They would have to follow all the guidelines in the house. So this doesn't put the municipality at any more of a risk. Having it at the soccer field, or having it at the beach, or having it in the parking lot, or at the rink.
Okay. If we were to change the rink or the basketball court or the island and just say Kabasgong Park, it would include the whole area. So that's another way of not specifying a location, but if we said Kabasgong Park, it would involve the whole park.
Mhm.
But then they would have to fence the entire
Yes.
park.
Oh, the entire park?
So if we
No.
license,
No,
Their area.
the area of liquor.
No, yeah, so when you're applying for your liquor license, you have to send in a diagram. So it would have to have like the whole park kind of summarized and listed, but they would have to draw their fences in where they're putting their fences. So like, for instance, we could run our cornhole tournament and only have the bar and being able to drink at the actual arena, not anywhere else. But, you know, you have to actually put that on your application, and the Alcohol Gaming Commission looks at it and approves it based on what you're doing. So the soccer field is already like half fenced. If somebody wanted to have a massive event at the soccer field, they would have to get temporary fencing or something to finish off fencing the rest of that in.
I guess we'd have to be specific on what fencing is.
The legislation does that.
It's in the
for-
policy.
It's
Okay.
in- it's
And then
in-
my other concern, my only other thing is, I think everything else is good, but I don't like the island. Like, island should be kind of off limits for the booze. Just, if you're surrounded by water on both sides, even though you're gonna put up a little snow fence, it's not gonna hold anybody in. Kind of my,
Okay, what we're going to do is send it back to the Recreation and Fitness Committee. Okay, moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor Corbett. The council recommends that the municipal alcohol policy be reviewed further by the Recreation and Fitness Committee. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the next one we have it's a resolution of support for the town of Wasaika Beach. There's that one that we didn't do. Moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor Clark, that the Township of Bonfield supports the town of Wasaika Beach's resolution passed at their September 14th, 2023 council meeting, calling upon the province that a provincial task force be assembled to create a municipal response framework to protect communities from unsanctioned car rallies, and that a copy of this resolution be sent to the Honorable Michael Kersner, Solicitor General of Ontario, the Honorable Doug Downey, Attorney General of Ontario, the Honorable Paul Calandra, Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Honorable Pravmeet Sakaria, Minister of Transportation, MPP Vic Fideli, and all other Ontario municipalities. All in favor? Carried. And then the next one was a resolution of support, the Waterloo MPP Catherine Fife Fixing Long-Term Care Amendment Act public presentation on November 14th, 2023 at our meeting.
Yes, they were not available for tonight. They were presenting somewhere else. So I gave them the option of November 14th and they have accepted. So they will be here through Zoom and make a presentation to council.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Addendum, no. Confirmatory bylaw. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor McGuinness. Whereas council deems it expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw at this session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council from October 10th to October 24th, 2023, be read a first, second, and third time, passed in number 2023-42, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and be engrossed in the bylaw book. All in favor? Carried. Oh. Adjournment.
Oh,
1 hour,
What time is it?
59.
7:59. Before we adjourn, I just want to remind everybody, the parade, the Halloween parade is coming this Saturday night. Don't forget to get all dressed up and look in your costumes and be there. What time does it start? Is it 6?
Yeah, it's meeting at the Four Corners at 6 and then going through the town from there.
Okay. Also, there's the sea pie dinner and I have to make a presentation. So I might not be able to go with you guys. I might have to stay and eat sea pie. Is that all right?
What is after? CPI is after. Oh, is it
Before,
before? Oh,
yeah.
5:30, yeah. Oh,
All
that's
right, moved by Counselor Clark, second by Counselor Featherstone, that this meeting be adjourned at 7:59. All in favor? Carried. Meeting is adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Ones that we didn't do.
Bye, Steve.
See you guys.
Good night, Steve.
See you later.